You go, Louise.
Oh, thank you very much,
Make sure
Colin.
you're nice and comfortable there.
Thank you very much.
Are you okay? Are you sure?
Yes.
Yes. Would you like me to introduce the next item, or would you like to?
No, you carry on, please, Colin.
Well, it's true. Well, is it Britain's time? You know, are we struggling with manners?
Yes. Are we living perhaps in rude Britannia?
Well, Debrett's Peerage has just published Manners for Men.
And a book about etiquette by the romantic novelist Barbara Cartland is also being brought out again 50 years after it was first published. Joining us to help us mind our P's and Q's, do we need to?
Yes.
Is a modern Mr Manners, William Hanson. Very good morning to you.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Oh, no, absolute pleasure. I feel like I'm going to have to be on best behaviour. Do manners matter?
Of course they do. They're more important than anything. Any qualification you may get at school, any degree, they are intrinsic to life wherever you go in the world, and they are imperative.
Why?
Well, because it's all about social interaction, and it's about dealing with other people. And I am not the only person on this planet, neither are you, neither are you. There are lots of other people. We have to deal with other people, and it's about putting respect for others and respecting their views and putting people at ease.
Well, we're in a very social place here. We're at the dining table here. Now, I'm likely to literally eat like this. Now, I know Louise was furious when I said that.
I might go like this.
What is wrong with that if you're comfortable doing that?
Well, a lot of manners are context-based. It depends on where you are. If I'm eating at home, then yes, the upturned fork, that was introduced by Nancy Lady Astor, that's absolutely fine. If I was at a formal banquet, then perhaps I wouldn't use that. But
so what would you do instead? You'd use a knife and fork, would you?
Use a knife and fork, yes, like
okay.
So. But it's context-based.
The youth. A lot of people now are saying that the youth have no manners whatsoever. Is that really true?
I think it's fair in some instances, yes. A lot of... I think they know. It's just whether it's cool to deploy them. I think they do know. I think, they're not quite as stupid as people think they are.
Well, suggest to me how we make manners cool.
Well, that's a very interesting thing. I think we need role models. I'm often asked in interviews, who is a role model for young children. I can't particularly think of anyone. I think I said in one interview Terry Wogan. Now, he's great, but he's not particularly a role model for, my generation, necessarily. So I can't think of it, which is sad,
Things
really.
do seem to have changed. For example, that whole sort of opening door thing.
Yes.
What would your advice be to people, do you think?
Well, on that one, traditionally it's open doors for women, but in my experience, you should open doors for anyone. It doesn't matter who they are, if they're women, man, or whatever. You should open doors for everyone and treat everyone the same, because we are all equal.
Do people find it strange when you're polite?
Yes, you are taken... when I go in taxis and things, and people, they see a young man and they think, OK, and they don't expect me to... I love chatting to people, and, I think they are slightly taken back sometimes, but hopefully pleasantly surprised.
Let's talk a bit about manners with emails and text, particularly writing emails and text. Do you think people should be a bit more conscious about how they write them, or what do you think?
The thing to remember is, certainly with an email, is you are writing an electronic letter. So the conventions you would write when you're writing a letter
you can't be right, dear sir, can you?
Well, it depends who you're emailing. It depends who you're contacting. If you're emailing a company asking for a job, then it would be dear sir or madam, to whom it may concern, the recipient, whatever, and then yours faithfully or yours sincerely, depending on if you know their name. With text messages, again, it's context-based. If I was emailing or texting my headmaster, then I would probably write very formally. I don't text my headmaster. If I was texting a friend, then perhaps, yes, I would use sort of the acronyms and the holophonic representation of, letters.
Yeah, what do you see is the worst thing that you could possibly imagine right now for bad manners? What do you see around on a daily basis?
Just not respecting other people and not respecting the views of other people, and just ignoring them. And people have this habit of going into a cocoon and just pretending that they are sort of the only person. And manners are selfless, and it's about others, so respecting others.